Hello guys, and welcome back to another brand new episode on Yellow Pine. Our city really is continuing to grow at an unprecedented pace. Honestly, I had no idea we could progress this quickly in City Skylines 2 with so few relative episodes, but here we are. Now, last episode we decided to discover and explore a little bit this valley. A beautiful valley that contains two lovely long rivers that we have started to pad out with plenty of residential zones coming down here, all with the intention to try and deal with the lack of labor complaints we are suffering from in our industrial areas. We still have a massive residential demand here, especially for low density. So what I think we're going to do this episode, guys, is continue to pad out this area. We've obviously got loads of buildable areas still, so let's just get straight into it. Now, the next most logical place to start building on, I would say, is this area here. We have got a lot of kind of flat land that we could build some low density housing that is very much in demand. So what we're actually going to do is grab ourselves a little junction here. We're just going to get a roundabout, maybe a medium roundabout will do the job, and we're going to drag along a fairly modest road, nothing too fancy. We're just going to go with a medium road here. Well, I guess strictly speaking it's not a medium road, but I consider it medium because I normally draw with like alleyways. So a fairly substantial road still that we're going to bring out here just to this length before the hill starts to kind of become apparent, I suppose. And then out our alleyways are going to come. I kind of like the idea of having a bit of a tiered system here. So what if we can kind of draw some lines out like this, which are actually, I mean, it's actually working perfectly. We can draw a few little roads along here as well, just to boost some connectivity. And considering this area stays straight, we might as well drag a road out like this. And then we'll continue with some parallels. We'll have ourselves some parallel roads along here, perfectly spaced apart to maximize our zoning. I think it'd be really nice to get some roads pretty nearby, as close as we can really, to the waterfront here. And oh my goodness, I did not realize how sloped this terrain is. I dread to think how the houses are going to come out here, but I mean, it should be okay, I suppose. I mean, look, let's put down some houses, let's put down some commercial. I think it'd be really wise if we drop some commercial here, a little bit of commercial there as well. We're going to give ourselves a small elementary school on this corner as well, because we don't want to be starving ourselves of education. We're going to get a high school up here as well. And how about we get ourselves a medical clinic in this corner right here? And whilst we're at it, considering we've got some money kind of splashing around, let's get an activities playground so the kids can have a bit of fun. And whilst we're also at that stage of our development where we're putting in loads of parks, let's get a dog park on that corner as well. Let's just drop down a small park over here. Now we're going to get some low density waterfront housing spawning in here. We're just going to spawn in like wildfire as expected, and we're just going to drop as much as we can around here really. I wonder what happens if we completely zone this area, considering half of it's in the water. What? Wow, talk about terraforming. I had no idea that this could actually happen in the game. Like, houses have literally built into the water here. I wonder how that kind of affects the fluid dynamics of the river. I mean, I hope not too much. We still have a river coming through. Ooh, we've got to pause on that 1 second. We need to put the golfer's villa in somewhere. That sounds like an amazing, awesome little asset to pop in. Here we go, the golfer's villa, which is a lot larger than I was expecting, because I was going to stick on this little slope here, but maybe this area here would be perfect. It's kind of wooded, it's away from everywhere. How about we stick the golfer's villa maybe at a slight angle, just like this? How about we do that? That looks pretty nice, doesn't it? And maybe we just get a gravel road. Let's say, he doesn't really want random people just strolling into his villa. So let's have a gravel road, something that's not, too interesting for people to kind of start questioning, oh, what's down this path? I'm going to connect it right along here. And blooming heck, I don't know what leagues this golfer is playing in, but I mean, they must be top of their game with something this beautiful. They've got themselves like a whole lake, a pond. Is that a swimming pool? God knows what it is, but I want it. I want to listen. If anyone was to try to persuade me to play golf, I think, this villa here would be enough to persuade me, to be honest with you. And look at this, guys. We are developing a very nice little grid here. I think we could probably start developing this little area also, considering how our demand is absolutely skyrocketing. So what we're actually going to do is get a straight long alleyway like this, and we're just going to promote some connectivity in this area. We are not very public transport strong at the moment, so this will kind of be the best thing we can do for the time being. And once again, I completely forgot the crazy wacky terrain we have here, where we've literally got alleyways completely going over one another like junctions. I wonder if we could sort of create a little bit of a junction without taking up too much space, because obviously if you're walking along there, you can't actually get down here, can you? So, this is going to be difficult, I think, but let's try at the very least. What do we have to try? I mean, oh man, they're just not wanting it. They're just not wanting it. What we're going to have to do is get an alleyway up here and then bring a parallel up like this. So we have a little bit of connectivity. It's kind of feeling like train lines now, which is not what I wanted, but I guess we're here now, so this is what we're gonna have to deal with. And whilst we're at it, considering we've got a bit of space here, guys, why don't we get ourselves a little curved road here, and we'll bring it all the way up here, so we just have a bit more housing that we can spawn in. And down goes all of the waterfront housing. God knows what the terraforming is going to be like. How about we commit this little central area to some commercial, just so people have some places local to them that they can shop in, and that should do the job for the time being, I think. I really like this point here where the two kind of tributaries, would they be known as, I suppose, leading to this great big river. I like this little apex. Is that called an apex? I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is, I feel like we should get some kind of unique building on there. And what better than a sculptor's mansion? I mean, you know, sculptors, architects, I guess they're all kind of banded into the same thing. Imagine having your mansion literally on the edge here with a beautiful tennis court for yourself as well. I mean, the tennis court takes up half of the footprint of the entire house. That's pretty cool. I like this. I mean, I'd be very afraid as a sculptor myself, like kind of there being some erosion, recession along these coastlines over time. But to be honest with you, with the beautiful views I'm sure they're getting, it's not too much to be worrying about. And we're just going to draw this little gravel road in just like this. And yeah, I think from this sculptor's perspective, if I was here, let's say I was in my beautiful outdoor gym, what would I be viewing from my balcony? So I'd be looking down into like the industrial area, right deep into the distance there, some beautiful mountains as well. I guess this road is a bit of an eyesore, but listen, infrastructure comes first when it comes to prioritizing our people. And fundamentally, I love that. I really, really like this little path that we've made for the sculptor's mansion. Just adds a bit of personality to the area, really. And I think whilst we're at it, why don't we get ourselves a few wind turbines here as well? It's not going to produce us much wind in the slightest, but I just think it would be a cool little decoration to have. Something pretty, you know? And once these are all connected up, they're going to start feeding the grid, benefiting our entire population, which is exactly what we want. And for some reason, our demand for low-density residential just continues to stay sky high, which just confuses me so much. So what we're actually going to do now, guys, we are going to unlock even more tiles. We're going to go for these three over here. Considering we've got this road here already, pretty substantial road, you know, we've got 2 lanes going in each direction. We're going to continue it out all the way here. And what we're going to do, we're going to get ourselves, let's go for a small roundabout. We'll go for a little one. We don't need anything too crazy. And we're going to go for a one-way system road. That's going to go all the way around this flat buildable area. I'm going to come back again. And in this little community, we're going to have ourselves a bit of a grid, I guess you could call it, but nothing too generic. It's still going to be very much unique. And I'll be honest with you guys, like I always used to watch YouTubers, you know, playing City Skylines 2, and I think to myself, why do you always just play on boring old flat terrain maps? And I can tell you something, I absolutely understand why now, because things like this are just so annoying. Like, when in the real world would you see something like this steep? Like, because from a bird's eye view, it's not steep. It's not steep in the slightest. You know, you just see a flat, you know, you think it's flat terrain, but as soon as you start to look up, you realize it isn't. And I don't know, from my perspective, I don't know, I completely appreciate why people would want to play with completely flat terrain. And I think in my future map, I probably will stick to flat terrain. We are going to get ourselves a high school here though, and we're going to get a little, well, not very little to be fair, this is quite a big elementary school, but we're going to get one here as well. Have a bit of an educational hub here. We're going to make sure we've got plenty of police coverage. We're going to have a police station there, a little small medical clinic. We're going to have it on this corner, on this bend right here, along our one-way system. We're going to saturate our bottom few little tiles here with some commercial for the future. This ring road, we are actually going to completely cover with row homes that I think is going to be quite nice. And inside here, we're just going to go for some standard low density housing, considering we've got the demand. And that should do the job. Kind of a unique little village down there. I guess we could be building along here. So why don't we? And I'm going to challenge myself to do something for this little area here. I am not going to let go of my paintbrush once. My paintbrush being like my mouse. I don't know why I called it a paintbrush, but what I mean is like, I'm going to have overlaps. I'm almost going to take my pencil for a walk. Oh God, I haven't thought of that for ages, but I used to do that at school quite a bit. And we're just going to see what crazy design we come up with and we're going to kind of figure out whether this actually kind of makes sense. And I suppose it does. I mean, it's kind of pretty. I like this, guys. What do you think? I'm just going to draw another road through here, actually, and we're just going to bring it along, joining there, and that seems to do the job. Once again, low density demand going sky high, so we are going to start spawning in as much as we can, and that looks pretty nice to me. How about on our lead up to here, we'll have some EU mixed housing, have plenty of commercial for our people to be shopping in, obviously, very much needed. I accidentally de-zoned a little bit here, let's put that back in, perfect. And I think that will do the job. Some beautiful little neighborhoods we're starting to construct here. I completely forgot to sort out the rest of this farmland here, so I'm going to do that very quickly now. And here we go, just like that, we've built some farmland. Very nicely done, in my opinion. I kind of feel like these larger farms do look a bit nicer than these smaller ones, actually, so that's pretty cool. Low density residential is once again skyrocketing, so I actually want to shift our focus away from what we've been developing over the last couple of episodes down here, because I want to come up here for a sec, and I want to consider this plot of land over here. It's relatively flat, and what I mean by that is it's obviously on a slope. I can see that very clearly. However, the slope is pretty gradual. We have great demand for residential. We have got a load of jobs that we need to fill, so why don't we just build an absolutely disgustingly immense grid here and just see how it goes? And so I am going to buy all of these tiles here. We're going to have to wait to save up a little bit more money first though. And so in the meantime, I'm going to prioritize connectivity, starting off with this highway here, which we're going to connect up with a very, very simple roundabout here. We are going to get ourselves a junction going on here as well. Considering I want to build some stuff in this area, I think a large junction like this should be justified. We're going to get ready for an immense bridge coming over here. And so that makes one connection, two connections. I personally think that is probably going to be enough. And as our income absolutely explodes, we can start to buy a few tiles here now. So we've got ourselves 3 here. And what I think we should have is a 6-lane road that comes directly down here. And this road's going to directly meet with this highway connection here. But what we're going to do for the time being is actually just build an absolutely stupidly immense grid. We're going to get ourselves that big 6-lane road, and we're going to build a massive bridge here to connect to the other side before chucking in a pretty substantial roundabout here. And we're going to get going with the grid on the left side as well. Actually, I go back on my word, considering how slopey it is, I think I'm going to do exactly what I did before, where I'm just going to have myself my road tool, and this tool is just going to go for a little walk. And we're going to see what crazy suburban sprawl it creates in the process. And well, it created something. I mean, I'd call this one a hell of a mess, but it seems to have plenty of zonable space on it, so I can't complain too much, I guess. I'm wanting to maximize connectivity, so I'm actually going to start to connect a few of these little roads that come from our actual original area that we started all those episodes ago, and we're going to connect it up to here, just a little bit. And now we have everything connected. There's only one more thing we have to do, and I think this is going to be pretty satisfying. We're just going to completely cover this whole area with low density residential, and hopefully, I mean, just take a look at this bar going down like crazy. However, over the next few minutes, I think this entire area is probably going to completely zone in with residential areas because there is just such an ongoing demand, which is exactly what we want. We're even going to zone in our crazy roads that we've got over here to just make the most of the space we have in this area as well. And people seem to be wanting to live here, so can't complain too much, I guess. And I just think our population is going to be skyrocketing over the next few minutes as well, as people just start to spawn in here. We'll put in a few parks around the place to try and encourage people to move in here eventually, but I think that will do the job, guys. And just checking back into our area here that we started this episode on, I am absolutely amazed by how much progress we have made. Like every last tile that we have spawned in residential for, it has been filled, and I think that is an amazing thing. And I also just love how unique every little section is. We've got this little circular town going on here. We've got some interesting terraforming that's happened here, I suppose because of all the houses that have been developed here. I wonder how feasible it actually would have been at the time to cut so deep into the stone just so people could have absolutely immense back gardens. Something else I love about just this whole map that we've been working on, guys, is how unique every last corner is. I mean, over here we've got our beautiful crater city that was built after a massive crater was formed after a meteorite struck. A great big beautiful capital city down here that we're working on that slowly is starting to spawn in some higher and medium density houses. A very upmarket gated community over here. we've got ourselves this American-style grid system that we worked on a few episodes ago that leads to our old European center here. And there's just so much more. I mean, we've got an airfield down there. We've got a whole forest industry that we still have to develop here as well. I mean, it genuinely is endless. And whilst I'm looking around, I've just come to realize our sewage lake is getting dangerously full. I really hope it does not overflow, but if so, I do apologize to our residents nearby. I mean, to be honest with you, they can probably smell most of it already, for God's sake. They know what's coming. Like, if any of you guys have recently bought property in the area, you're an idiot. Look at what's next to you. I just don't understand this, guys. We've got increasing residential demand once again, even though we have literally just filled this entire area. Where's the commercial demand? I mean, is it because we don't have educated citizens? I mean, the majority of our citizens are educated, so I don't really get that. We've got plenty of schools in the area. So why is there no commercial demand? Do we just have enough shops already? Or maybe like, especially high density shops, I know require like university or college education. So maybe we just need a little bit of patience and it will pay off. However, whilst we're at it, considering we've got such huge demand right now, I don't see why we can't buy these tiles over here. Maybe these 3 only if we can afford that only. And we're going to get ourselves, once again, a very boring and immense grid because I want to be able to satisfy all of the demands right now of our inhabitants. And we don't actually have enough money, which is a little bit tragic. Although now we do, and I think this will do the job. I don't really want a highway connection here just because it's going to be an expense and it's going to be taking up space. So I'm just going to try to connect in as many different ways possible. Maybe if we get ourselves a little connection from under here as well, connecting to Hodges Airfield, and we just get ourselves a little residential zone here that seems to be once again spawning in like wildfire, which is amazing. And as every episode passes, we just seem to be growing more and more and more. And I feel like our last massive plot of land really is just this over here. Once that has been taken up, we have not got anywhere else to build apart from the mountains, but we're going to be limited with that really. And to be honest with you guys, like I said in the last episode as well, I've actually got a few more ideas as to what I want to be doing in City Skylines 2. So stay tuned for those because we are going to be starting 2 brand new series that are going to be built upon what I've learned in this series. My first ever time on YouTube this has been, so I've learned so much in the process and I know I can do so much better, and I have got so many amazing, wonderful ideas that I want to make a reality. So stay tuned for these brand new series that are going to come around as we say goodbye to Yellow Pine in the next few episodes. As always, thank you so very much for joining me on this adventure as we grow and expand our first ever city in City Skylines 2, Yellow Pine. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss out on a brand new video when I release it, and make sure that you do hit a like if you enjoyed the video as well, because it makes a world of difference to my channel and I'll be forever thankful. The city of Yellow Pine, the people of Yellow Pine say goodbye to you, and I will see you all very soon.